What's up? My name is Mu, and here's my Edgerunners episode 1 review. I'm gonna start with some pointers here. We're gonna go with what I liked, what made me sad, storytelling, some sections about competent writing, and how CD Projekt Red's heart is in the right place. And we're going to talk about, lastly, forgiveness. Technically, I'm the only one forgiving in this situation. I think I'm going to try going back to Night City and maybe pick up my old guns again and look for the new guns from the anime. So we'll see. Currently, I don't have any issues or hot takes with the anime. I'm only on the first episode, however, so my opinion could change by the end of this. I don't know exactly when I'm gonna stop watching. I'm hoping I will get to the end of it and it won't frustrate me like the game did, but we will keep going. But this section's about what I liked about the game. I like how they portrayed the kid in the beginning. If you're not aware, these type of reviews usually have spoilers in them, so spoiler warning. If I say anything that is gonna ruin it for you, you can go ahead and dip out of the video. But right now, I'm just explaining my experience. So if you haven't seen it, I do recommend at least going to watch the first episode before you watch this. He's a kid who goes to a corpo school. Corpo is basically a buzzword in Cyberpunk for rich kid or rich person, and in Night City a corpo is basically a cutthroat businessman or businesswoman. His mom nicknames him D and talks about his school situation while they're driving in the car, and it's one of the more almost iconic scenes from the anime. At least I think it will become iconic. It's very not to the point, but it's told in a very guided, directed filmography type of way, which is very nice and good, and that's what I would expect from, I think, a Japanese company produced the anime. So that's pretty much what I would expect from an anime, but it actually is a few levels above normal anime just because of the direction they chose to go with. And I just thought of a few things I didn't like, but it's part of the universe anyway, so I will get to those later. But right now we're on the things I did like about it, and the way the scenes played out, the way the flames come up, and the way D is ignored by the trauma team all reminded me of trying to learn the board game Cyberpunk 2020, I think. When I tried to learn the board game, it described trauma team like that if you were a paying customer, they would provide service for you, but if you didn't pay, they would just ignore you and leave you for dead. And that's basically what happened to D. His family isn't rich. He's not rich. I just heard a dog bark. And after what happens, D has a hard time dealing with his issues that he already has from school, from the bullying, from top executives on his ass, and from the pain. He's just struggling in all aspects of his life, even though he should be thriving because he's going to an unordinary school. But he, as I said before, he just doesn't have the money or prestige to stay there. And he could have gone there and stayed there, but the bullying was pretty severe, so he decides to dip after losing a parent. Spoiler, like I said, you didn't watch the episode, I warned you. But yeah, people were saying the ending was sad. I haven't gotten there yet. I'm only on the second episode, but I thought the beginning was sad. Just the beginning for me was sad. So it did open up the rest of the story though, which is kind of weird. A lot of stories that I like do start that way, with a death, which opens up the rest of the plot or story or theme. basically we're going down an arc that is kind of suspicious, or like not suspicious, but we don't know exactly. It's like it's mysterious. It's a mystery of how is this kid going to do. This doesn't seem good for him, you know. And he does run into this like cyber thug or whatever. She's almost like a spy character. She reminded a lot of people of Motoko, I think, from Ghost in the Shell. So, and there's a lot of Ghost in the Shell themed things throughout the story. Sorry if you hear any squeaking. That's just my breath wheezing for some reason. Okay, I took a sip of water. I'm sorry about that. I do like the girl, though, the character design of her. I forget what they called her because I only watched it last night or 2 nights ago with my girlfriend, and we were just sitting there watching it. I fell asleep by the 3rd episode, and we'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, D meets this like cyber criminal almost. She identifies him as someone who goes to Arasaka, which is the corpo school I was talking about, and when she finds that out, she basically exploits his education, his status, so he won't get in trouble, and like looms it or dangles it like keys over his head, like, oh, I know where you go to school, I could get you in trouble. And he ends up cooperating with her in some crime and getting some money and doing a job. Well, he thinks he's gonna get money and it doesn't end up that way. But yeah, that just shows, you know, it just basically shows a night in Night City, which is the same kind of experience you get in the video game. Is, if you haven't played, again, spoilers, you know, you go in to it thinking you're doing a mission, you get betrayed, you lose your friend, there's a death that happens, and the rest of the story opens up after that. And it's just kind of strange that they chose basically the same storyline, but I get where they're coming from. A lot of people missed the game or dismissed the game because of the controversy. So telling the same story in an anime it's a different avenue. You got a different audience. You could definitely do that. I get that, and I kind of respect it, to be honest, because, you know, if it doesn't work the first time, get up and dust yourself off. And they did that. They did dust themselves off and just produced something else. Did something else with their time and made some major chess moves. As someone who owns my own business and operates it, as an operator, they did a decent job of getting a fan base again. So yeah, I gotta congratulate them for that. But other than that, we're gonna get into why Cyberpunk 2077 makes me sad. This isn't going to be a long section, this is gonna be a short section just because I don't want to get into it too much. But basically, the anime makes me sad because when I actually want to play the game without the storyline, without the characters, without anybody, you know, giving me a quest, the world felt empty. And I said that past tense because I haven't played it recently and I don't want to slander the game. So if I go back into it and I find that it's fun, I will definitely let you know if it's worth getting into or worth playing again. I'm not exactly a veteran. I didn't finish the story because I wanted to see what just the world was like, and just the world, it's not, you know, it's not something I would go back to every day. It's not like Breath of the Wild, it's not like Skyrim, it's not like a Bethesda game, you know, it's not like Fallout I could just play every day and just have fun. This is more of a linear experience where when you finish everything, you go into the world, you have side quests you can keep doing, like Radiant quests in Skyrim, but it's just, you know. Anyway, that's the game, not the anime. The anime, what made me sad was that it reminded me of the game, so I might cut a lot of that out just to get to this point, is that the anime reminds me of the game and it makes me want to play, and then that makes me sad because the anime is so much, it's like leagues better than the game itself, and we could have had a lot more in the game. So that's that. We're gonna move on. I know I just sound like an old grouch. We're gonna go to the storytelling, which I kind of was on a page of that here and there in the first half, or I had a snippet of that in the first half. The storytelling. Like I said in the beginning, it was directed well. I know I'm one of those tongue-tied YouTubers. I feel like it was competent. I don't think it was an amazing story, but it was very competent. Someone knew what they were doing when they directed it, when they wrote the script. Someone definitely understood the objective. They understood the assignment. They really got on the ball there. And I could tell they were serious about the anime. They weren't screwing around. They really got into it. Which brings me to the themes in Cyberpunk, which are very over-sexualized, hyper-sexualized, whatever you want to call it. And it's supposed to be normal in that world, but to us it's shocking. So basically, that world, it's normalized, like, you know, a lolly sex slave or sex type body is, you know, it's possible to be like 48 and be a lolly in that world. I don't know exactly if that was happening in that scene, but it seemed like it. But yeah, very adult themes, and I'm still kind of on it. I don't really care either way. It doesn't really make me sad. It's just like, it makes you think, you know? I do want to say that they kind of do overdo it just to stress the point that it's normalized, and I kind of get it, but also I don't think you'd need to stress it if it was normalized. But hey, if you like it, you like it. I'm not gonna knock you. However, having said all that, while I do think there's competent writing and that I was sad about a few things, and maybe I didn't like, you know, the game as much as I like the anime, I do think their hearts are in the right places, at least for the time being. And I know people are gonna say they did it for their investors and stuff, but I do genuinely think they have a competent team moving forward. I don't think they're gonna mess up as much because they're basically under a microscope right now, and they have the original team coming back for certain projects. They don't really have time to mess it up, to be honest. Although I do think they did overload themselves with the amount of projects they're gonna do. Yeah, they have some new bases set in America and Canada, but I wouldn't throw them under the bus just yet, or say that they're over their heads, because they did work that out. I hope the 2 to 4 new studios are good enough, you know, to get the ball rolling for them. Like I said, I don't have any negativity towards them, really. And this is where my forgiveness is gonna come in, because it's like, I felt betrayed at the beginning of all this, especially with the video game coming out. And I'm an old head, basically, that was there since the first trailer ever dropped. And I was excited. I even told my girlfriend about it, and she told me not to get excited because it always ends up bad or worse if it's that far away. And I didn't listen. I was like, no, they're different. They're gonna change gaming, you know. It's gonna be different, because, you know, that's what was being fed to me on the internet and stuff. I don't think CD Projekt Red said that themselves. They just said there were certain features, certain characteristics of the game that would be implemented, and I would be able to use those features. That didn't come to fruition. It didn't come true, and it made me sour. And I'm gonna stop being so sour and so bitter and just try the game again, watch the anime, and hopefully find something somewhere I can latch onto and appreciate. Besides just, you know, Johnny or the story, or V, the main character you play. I really think there's something good about everything, and I know people say, you know, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it, but sometimes, in this case, a lot of people didn't say a lot of nice things, and we got something nice out of it still. which would be the anime and the resurgence in players, the player base. So I know that they did kind of fudge the numbers on if it was, you know, a million or not. But when asked if there was consistent players, a million consistent players, they did admit that no, it wasn't consistent, but they did get a million. So I don't know. That's kind of nitpicky in my opinion. If they got a million, they got a million. You know, I wouldn't nitpick that. That's like I can't get a million people on my comic book, so that's a feat in itself. I wouldn't mind bragging about me getting a million subs, a million followers, a million whatever it would be, you know, or a million readers on my comic. That would be cool. Like, why would I complain about a product if it has a million viewers, or a million readers, a million players? And like I understand the metrics they're using. Like if it's consistent, then yeah, it means the game is really good and people are staying on longer just to play the game. But that's not the case. People are, you know, no-lifing the story and then getting off because, like I said, certain things in the game are not appealing. Like walking to a store or a shop usually doesn't merit any value. The actual shops, yeah, like when you buy armor or get aid, like first aid spray or whatever it's called, grenades, all that junk, clothing, armor, weapons. It's just like, you know, when you just try to have the normal experience of walking around. It's not GTA, obviously, and I know a lot of people use that reference or analogy, but it's not. You just really can't get that experience in Cyberpunk, and it's a shame because I would really like that. But it's not GTA, it's Cyberpunk, and it's a different game, and we gotta accept that. I accepted that even before people were saying it was gonna copy GTA, because that was how people started expecting some GTA vibes out of it. Someone spread a rumor that it was gonna be just like GTA, but it turned out to be worse than GTA, and you can't do a lot of stuff. Ended up an action RPG instead of just a regular normal RPG. Alright, so it's an action RPG or action adventure with RPG elements. That's how they advertised it. So yeah, but yeah, I forgive CD Projekt Red for Cyberpunk 2077's launch. Not because I want to be righteous or anything, or just because I want to be edgy. I just want to say that I forgive them. I'm gonna move on, try to play their game, and if I don't like it, then I'll just put it down. No biggie, no biggie. I still have the PS4 base version. Hopefully the updates did upgrade some of the bugs and stuff. I heard it didn't do much for the bugs. There's still some game-breaking stuff in there, but I think I want to start a new save file just because when I think Cyber Psycho mission didn't go well and I didn't get my loot, so I'm gonna try that one again. I never got to finish that one, so hopefully the bug is fixed on the Cyber Psychos. I know that one was a patch a while back. Hopefully it works. And I heard in 2.1 version 2.1 there'll be some extra stuff, basically the stuff we've all been waiting for Cyberpunk, and to improve the game. But we do have new guns, new apartments in different cities and stuff. And if you want to watch a video about all of that stuff, you can go to Juicehead, who makes a lot of like Cyberpunk Fallout style videos. I love his content. You can go over there as well. And he probably is making a video as we speak, because that guy is fast, man. Alright, see you guys.
You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free. you know I'm addicted to you. And it's twisted, you've been gifted with the evil voodoo. Got me coming back for more, even when I've been screwed. Dolls full of pins, pierce my heart straight through. I got issues in my head, I like you in my bed, but you keep me on red. Oh, everything is like a test, I better not text or I'll come off desperate.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed, thinking something out of my nightmares, sitting right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored again?
So if I play dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing, and my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel like when I'm with you I'm losing. I feel like you think that this amusing, sitting there gaslighting and confusing. Was it me? Is it me? Am I deluded? I'm the one who's always sorry, the conclusion. Even though I offer all of the solutions, I wish you loved me like I love you, it's stupid. When I'm alone with you I never feel lucid. I wish I wasn't struck by Cupid. I wish when I first saw you I knew this. When I'm with you I feel so useless, I feel diluted, my heart's been wounded. Silhouettes of you are like a taunt, never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm, I can feel the sweat inside my palm. Play with me like cats and a string, you don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings, you don't ever wanna set me free.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed, thinking something out of my nightmares, sitting right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored again? Then will you get bored again?
You can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.